Have you ever loved someone who wasn't alive anymore? Someone you could see but never touch? Someone who waited for you in the dark? If you love mysterious and horror stories, then make sure to subscribe to the channel. Tell me in the comments what kind of stories you enjoy the most. Like this video and share it with your friends. Now let's move to the story. A story you'll never forget. She heard his voice before she ever saw his face. It was late October, wind cold enough to bite through her hoodie, and the streetlights flickered like tired eyes. Emma stood on her porch in Savannah, Georgia, whispering to the night like she always did since the accident that took her brother. But that night, someone whispered back. The sound was soft, barely a breath, but it made her heart trip in her chest. She turned slow, eyes wide. No one there. Only the oak tree swaying heavy with moss and the faint hum of crickets. She laughed under her breath, told herself she was just tired. Then she heard it again. Her name drawn out like a memory she forgot to forget. After that, she couldn't sleep. Every night the voice came back, sometimes close, sometimes far, sometimes right by her ear. She started leaving the porch light on, waiting with her arms wrapped around her knees. And one night she saw him. A boy standing at the edge of the yard, barefoot in the dew, wearing a white shirt that looked too thin for the cold. His eyes gray like rain clouds, his smile small, like he was afraid it would fade if he tried too hard. She didn't scream. She just whispered, "Hi." And he whispered back, "Hi, Emma." From that night on, they talked about music. She liked old country songs. He said he used to play guitar. About dreams. He said he didn't have any anymore. About the stars. She said she liked the quiet. He said that's why he stayed here. He never came closer than a few feet, but she could feel him there. The air would grow still, the night softer, like the world was holding its breath for them. She asked where he came from. He said he didn't remember. She asked his name. He said he forgot that too. Days turned into weeks. Her friends stopped calling her out for coffee. She stopped answering her mom's texts. She was always waiting for the night when she could talk to him again. She started feeling him even when the sun was out, his shadow in the mirror, his whisper in the hum of the fridge, his hand brushing hers when she reached for the doorknob. One night she tried to touch him. She reached out slow, heart pounding, breath shaking. Her fingers went through him like air, and the light in his eyes dimmed just a little. "Don't," he said. "It hurts." She pulled back, tears in her throat. "What are you?" she asked. He looked at her long and quiet and said, "Something I shouldn't be." The porch light flickered once, twice. The wind stopped, and she saw something behind him, a faint shimmer like another figure watching from the trees. She whispered, "Who is that?" He didn't answer. He just looked scared for the first time since she met him. And then he said, "Emma, you have to stop coming outside after dark." She froze on the porch, her breath catching in the cold air, the world around her quiet, like it was listening. He stepped back toward the trees, eyes dark and filled with something she couldn't name. "Why?" she whispered, but it came out more like a thought. "Because they can see you now," he said, voice breaking like static in the wind. "Who?" she asked, but he was already fading like fog pulled away by the dawn. The next morning, she woke on the porch, not remembering how she fell asleep there, her phone buzzing with missed calls from her mom. Her skin felt cold, like the night had left its fingerprints on her. She looked toward the yard, the grass pressed down where he had stood, but no footprints. For 3 days, he didn't come back. The nights felt too still, the crickets gone. Even the streetlight buzzed softer. She tried to forget, tried to sleep, tried to convince herself it was just grief. But on the fourth night, she heard her name again, only this time it wasn't his voice. It was lower, slower, like it came from the ground beneath her feet. "Emma, come outside." She stepped to the window, the street empty, the oak branches still. She whispered his name once, twice, 3 times, and then he appeared again, but different. His shirt darker, his eyes hollow, like something had taken the light from him. "You aren't supposed to hear them," he said. "They know now. They're coming." She asked, "Who are they?" But he shook his head. "You have to leave, Emma. Go anywhere, just not here." A sound broke through the night, a low hum that felt inside her chest. The air shimmered, the trees bent, like something huge moved through them, and she saw the other figure again, the one that had watched from the woods, closer now, almost human, almost not. Its face blank, its shape bending like smoke. She stepped back into the house, heart hammering, eyes on him. He looked at her one last time before the light behind him turned white and everything went silent. When the light faded, she was alone, the air thick with the smell of rain, though the sky was clear. She stood frozen in the doorway, staring at the place where he had been. The porch creaked, slow and distant, like footsteps walking away. She whispered his name again, her voice small against the quiet. No answer, only the hum still deep under her skin, like the night itself was breathing with her. She couldn't sleep. She kept the lights on, every room glowing like daylight. But in the corners, she could see shapes moving where the light didn't reach. A flicker of white, the blur of a face, almost his, but not quite. Sometimes she heard him call her name, and sometimes it was the other voice, the one that felt wrong. She tried to ignore it, turned up the TV, called her mom, stayed on the phone till morning. But when the call ended, she heard a knock on the door. She ran through the yard, feet slipping on the wet grass, the night pulling tighter around her like a shadow come alive. His voice followed her, softer now, fading with every step. Don't stop, Emma. Don't look back. She reached the road, breath sharp, eyes wide, the hum behind her rising like thunder. She turned once, just once, and saw the light spill through the trees, swallowing the place she once called home. When she woke, the sun was rising, and the world was quiet. The air smelt like rain, but there was no storm. Her hands were empty, except for the paper still crumpled in her palm. The words faint, but still there. Don't let them in. She stood for a long time, watching the sky turn gold, No sound, no whisper, no hum, just silence. But when the wind moved through the trees, she thought she heard him, a voice soft and far away. Thank you. And for the first time, she smiled, knowing some part of him was finally free.